everybody. How are you all doing? Nice to see everybody. We are going to take, as I call it, our speed jog through Mario 3 using my patented Mario 3 for Dummy strats. And here I have Supersonic, master of 2D Mario runs, by the way. GG on all of your runs so far in Retrothon, and thanks for being here.
It's me, Mario.
All right, I think we're ready to go. So let's get going, everybody.
Let's go.
Let's
All
go.
right, let's do this.
All right, I'm going to try all the hard stuff at least once. If it don't work out, we'll fall back on backup strats. All right, made it over the piranha. You know, that's a good start to me. You know.
Yeah, usually that piranha jump can be pretty scary at the very start, and I know a lot of the Mario 3 runners kind of dread that jump specifically. You know.
So you'll see that again. One of my favorite things about Mario 3 is I am one of the runners that's most likely to have some pretty cool fallback strats, alright? That's kind of what I'm known for in Mario 3. I'm not going to be able to do P-speed strats for all the levels, but, you know, for the vast majority of them, I think we'll be good to go.
Yellsrick, I wish I could do that, but I am not very good at voice acting all that much. That's probably only the few things I can say.
Oh, please, that was good. Okay, so one other funny thing you will notice me doing is I primarily play randomizer in this game. So if you see me flinch, it's something weird. It's nothing wrong with me or the game. It's more or less like, oh my goodness gracious, I'm used to a Boss Bass appearing here. I'm used to a Paragoomba appearing here. So don't mind me if something completely startles me throughout the run. It should be fun.
Randomizers messes with people's brains.
This
but
thing
it's fun, though.
will make me very conscious of the inventory box throughout. We're going to try to not toot. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, you don't want to toot the whistle because that'll take you to a warp zone, and we're not taking warps in this.
Nope, this is warpless. Not to be confused with the new hot category of all forts, which I believe Supersonic did feature that category at Kellython.
Yep, and I got my butt handed to me by Grand Pooh Bear, but it was a lot of fun. But this is one of the true categories of this game, which currently Mitch Flower has the world record. I believe he has a 55 or something like that, or 57. It's one of those times, but I know he has the world record now. And this category is actually really a lot of fun. All forts is kind of similar to this, except that you don't play 3 airships in the entire game. But with this one, with warpless, you do end up playing all the airships, and you don't use any warp zones at all. So.
Yes! Okay, we got it. It's really hard to get P-speed there, especially with the tail. You get a lot of tread from that, and normally we would do what's called a Superman jump there, but when you're not used to the camera angles from that, that can be a little tricky. So marathon strats, we take the tail. So if you walk away from anything in this run, I want y'all to know everybody can do the strats that I'm doing here. I want y'all to know if you're going to try this speed run, my strats might be a good way to start here.
Yeah, using the tail is actually a lot slower, but it is actually safer for a lot of difficult areas in Mario 3. So in 1-6 in particular, usually getting P-speed in that area, there's a slight gap there, and sometimes you can actually lose a little bit of P-speed, and sometimes Mario will not get full momentum, and he'll just end up, falling off the pit. So.
Probably not going to fire kill Larry here, but you will see fire kills at least against Wendy, if I can make it there with fire. So, when you're speedrunning Mario 3, one of the biggest enemies you have in this game is boredom. There's a lot of auto-scrollers in this game, and it's very easy to get bored and want to mess around with the cannons and stuff, but I would urge you all not to do that. Not a good idea, especially if you want to hang on to fire, which we will have going into World 2 for a change. This is lovely. Alright, sub 4 World 1, Marathon, I'll take that.
Yeah. So you kind of noticed that Fire Mario looks a lot different in this game in terms of color palettes. When I was a kid, let's say around 3 or 4 years old, playing this game, I thought he looked like a chicken nugget covered in marinara sauce.
You're gonna make me hungry, and we're only out of World 1, Supersonic. No.
Yeah. Well, that was just my imagination, so.
Chicken nuggets sound good.
Yeah.
All right, so World 2. We're hopefully going to hang on to this fire flower most of the way through it.
World 2, we're in Desert World, or Desert Land.
Actually, Supersonic, I know something that would be really cool. Could you describe P-Speed for me? Because that's something we haven't seen in any of the 2D Mario games yet in this marathon up to this point.
So P-Speed is actually pretty unique. I think this is the first, what do you call, what's that word I'm thinking of? I can't even think of the word. But it's the first time that we see a P meter appear in a Mario game.
Yeah.
And basically, as Mario is running, he builds up speed, and then he'll just kind of like spread his arms out like he's ready to fly, like a bird. And it basically makes the game faster. You know, like you can pretty much finish levels a lot faster than just running at normal speed. There will be times where you will lose momentum. Like, let's say you're running across gaps, it can actually take away an arrow of your P meter. Also, if you're running off platforms, that can also decrease your P speed momentum. So there's like various things that you can do and not do while trying to maintain P speed. But ultimately, in Mario 3, you do want to have P speed as much as possible in every level. There will be some levels where you cannot do that, but in the level, like in the other levels, like it's pretty much needed to have P speed at all times.
By the way, Mitch Flower Power says I'm cheating when I use a star in this stage. He calls me out on this one, and he calls me out on 4-3. It's kind of funny. Mitch and I always give each other a hard time over this game.
Well, everybody has their ways of running the game. I mean, even me. But, you know.
Nice fortress, though. Can't complain about that one.
That was a pretty good fort.
This is another neat level, once the routes learn proper.
2-3, yeah. And a lot of the times when you have P-Speed as well, you want to, like, time your jumps. Especially when it comes to, like, trying to jump across, like, various pits and then trying to avoid, you know, enemies and such. You can either, like, do a light tap on the jump button or, like, do a full press. Like, there's various jumps that you can do while, you know, in P-Speed mode, I like to say.
I will say that the inputs actually get very difficult once you're in P-Speed mode. No joke.
Yeah.
And of course, one of everybody's favorite enemies from this game, the Angry Sun.
The Angry Sun. You gotta put some swag shades on that bad boy.
Alright, so true story here. Kind of embarrassing to admit, I actually, under pressure, died in this stage during my last RGL run, during the last marathon we have. So I'm looking for a little bit of redemption here against the sun, and we made it. Yes.
Nice. It's a pretty good level.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes that sun can be pretty trolly. Hitboxes in this game is also another thing. When you think that you actually jumped over the sun or something, like you still get hit. It's very weird.
A little bit of a treat for y'all. We get to see 2-5, which isn't normally in the warpless route we want to do 4, but again, I'm trying to take the everybody route. So again, this is the world you're going to want to take. 2-4 is not a nice level. All kinds of Hammer Brothers, Boomerang Brothers, just not a nice level in general, so...
Yeah, and when I played this category, I normally take 2-5 anyway, because it's actually a lot easier. 2-4, I haven't really dove into it yet, but it is actually a much difficult level, but a faster level, nonetheless.
So here again, the intended strat here is to just take the Buzzy Beetles and just kind of do that, but again, this is a marathon. Don't want to be losing power-ups here, ain't nobody got time for that, so just gonna take a nice little trek here through the pyramid.
Yeah, it's not often that I see the raccoon leaf used in the pyramid, which is actually pretty nice to have, because, you know, using the tail whip to break the blocks and then just, you know, crouching underneath the opening.
My Hammer Brothers swapped, or Boomerang Brothers in this case. So this was the first Mario game to actually feature different types of Hammer Brothers. So right there, I had early hammer and he ran away at the beginning, that means. I had early. No, I mean, I didn't get a chance to grab him early, but that was actually, if he would have been outside of 3, that would have been early hammer. Oh, that's disappointing. But we just didn't get the right RNG for that.
Bros are never bros in this game.
No, and like I said, when I saw him at the beginning, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's probably not it. That's as Darby used to call it, Beats by Bro, and nope, that was actually early Hammer that just didn't materialize into anything. That's sad.
And those boomerangs do look like socks, by the way.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Alright, so we're heading into the second airship here.
More boredom.
Yeah, every single airship in this game are all auto scrollers, and there are plenty of auto scrollers in this game. Like especially if you're going to play the 100% category, they can get pretty like slow and boring. It's like, oh man, why am I in this level, and so on and so forth. But you know, once you get past those, you know, it gets a lot better from there.
Fun fact here, if you play on the All-Stars version and you drop down right where I am, you die from the camera angle. It doesn't work in the NES version, but if you want a funny trick to play on your friends and you're playing on the All-Stars version, by the way, don't do it, bad camera angles in that game. But if you do drop down there in the All-Stars version, you die, which is hilarious.
That's why I'm kind of glad I don't play the All-Stars version for this game.
Nobody plays the All-Stars version, not unless we're doing all 4 games. Still funny.
Well, that makes more sense playing for all 4.
Ooh, Morton tried. You tried.
Being sneaky.
Yeah, he is. That was a very odd pattern at the beginning, but we did it. We kept fire. Let's move on to World 3. Everybody's favorite world. You like water worlds, right?
Oh, do I? That's a question I may not have an answer to.
So I had
but it does resort to a no.
I had talked about the Angry Sun is one of the most iconic enemies in this game. Well, that's not true. There's one other iconic enemy. Scares the crap out of everyone. Its name is Boss Bass. You'll know Boss Bass when you see him.
Oh, yeah. My friend used to call him Donkey Kong Fish.
Oh, my goodness.
Of the face. Yeah, we had some pretty crazy imaginations as kids.
So the best way to handle water stages is to stay out of the water. And while we can't do that all the time, we do have our shortcuts through water-covered stages. So here's one of them. And I'll be talking about them over the course of the game. In Warpless, and all forts for that matter, we do have some nice shortcuts through the water to reduce time spent swimming. Because again, we want to go fast. We don't want to spend time underwater.
Yeah, and plus you also move a lot slower in the water in Mario 3 as compared to Mario 1 and Lost Levels. Their speed is actually much different, so it's actually a lot slower in this game. Now, in 3-2, there is a strat that you can do to get P-speed, but it is actually pretty difficult to pull off, so the backup strat for this is actually bouncing off the Cheeps, which Sky is doing very well, and she kept fire throughout the entire way. I usually lose fire in this level.
Whew. That stage is very nerve-wracking, especially in a marathon, so I'm pretty happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, it is a very scary stage, like especially trying to get P-speed.
Here comes Bass.
Here we go. We're gonna see the big fish here.
AKA the Jaws of this game.
It's coming at you.
No! Alright, almost full P-speed. Nice stage overall. Nice stage on the whole. Whew.
Also, another way to maintain P-speed is like while you're jumping in the air and you're kind of like tapping left and then back to facing right again, you can actually still maintain P-speed that way. Unless you're like fully facing left, then you can actually lose momentum. So there's like various ways to like keep P-speed even when you're like in tight situations. Are you gonna go for third door?
I had thought about it. That's why I was kind of stalling a little bit there, but no, I'm sorry. Especially now that I lost fire. No third door. Sorry.
No third door. That's okay. Third door is actually a frame perfect trick that you can pull off. Like right as you enter the door, and then when you reappear, it's like you have like one frame to like enter the door again to take you to the boss fight. And it's only done twice in marathons, which is by Grand Pooh Bear and yours truly. So.
That's because y'all are awesome. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to the Mario 3 community. They have been helpful every step of the way since I started running this game in, 2013? It's been a while.
Wow, that's well before I started speedrunning.
So we're gonna grab this so we can take a hit here.
Yeah, usually you want to get the raccoon leaf as D boosts. Because you do get kind of slower when you grab the raccoon leaf, but it does help you out in various situations.
Now, probably for one of the least favorite parts of my game, I'm being a little quiet going through this one. We'll talk about it a little bit once I'm done. We did not get a runaway hammer brother! Yes! The game is with me. Thank goodness gracious, because that was the hammer too. They swap spots, which they normally don't do. Alright. Let's try to do this the right way. I'm not gonna wimp out and P-wing this stage. One hit.
So
One hit. That's all we need.
Revisit Boss Bass here.
Yes! Okay, we had to take our time through that. Hang on, let me just... Alright. I think playing randomizer has helped me get used to Boss Bass's pattern. But we got it on the second shot through, so that's fine. We call that, if you die in that level, 2 Boss Bass, the cardinal sin of SMB3. You don't want to do it, you have to play through an auto-scroller if you die there. It's horrible, it wastes time, and nobody wants to watch an extra auto-scroller. I complain about them as it is, so I'm glad we didn't have to do that.
And also in return of that, you do lose the cloud too, because you have to use the cloud to get past 3-6. And if you were to die in 3-8, it's going to take you back, and then you have to play through the auto-scroller, and unless you have an extra cloud to work with, which I don't know if there is. I think there is an extra cloud in World 3 from a Hammer Bro. So with that...
Okay. A little bit of lag.
Yeah, a little bit of lag.
Just a tad.
Yeah, so like let's say you have another cloud to use, so just like intentionally die in 3-6 and then use the cloud again. It's like various ways you can get through that.
Yeah, and on that note too, Alec, I'm glad you mentioned that. You are not in control of what the Hammer Brothers do. At all. Like, what the Hammer Brothers are going to do are what they're going to do. And it's probably one of the most frustrating aspects to being a Super Mario Brothers 3 speedrunner. Like, it's terrible.
It's all RNG.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk a little bit more about RNG at the end of the game, won't we, Supersonic?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so World 3 airship. The power-ups in this level, you do get a raccoon leaf here, which is why it's very crucial to keep fire beforehand. There is actually a pretty cool fire kill you can do against Wendy. However, it is very precise to pull off the fire kill, but if you're gonna just like stomp on her normally, you just gotta watch out for the rings that she throws.
We're gonna go for the fire kill. Like I said, we're gonna go through it for all the hard stuff at least once, so why not give it a try?
Alright. It does take 10 shots to kill, so just gotta time those shots perfectly.
Okay, let's do this. Yep, we got it. Wasn't fast, but we got it. Beautiful.
Nice. That is actually a good backup there for getting fire kill against Wendy. The intended strat is that you shoot quick fireballs, like you're basically going back like to the left and then just turning around, shoot 2, go back, turn around, shoot 2. You do that like at least 5 times until all 10 fireballs hit. There actually can be instances where the fireballs will actually pass through Wendy because of the hitboxes. So you would have to kind of like time your shots, you know, like kind of like in a cadence, like, you know, like shoot 2, then turn, shoot 2, then turn, so on and so forth. But that backup kill that you did, that was really good.
Oh, thank you. This is also everybody's favorite world in childhood. This is the Land of the Giants.
Yes, this is actually my favorite world as well.
I like this one and I like Ice World.
Yeah, Big World's actually fairly short, except for the airship. Yeah,
oh, the airship's like half. The airship's like half of World 4, I swear.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, here is perhaps growing up one of my most biggest disappointments of the game. Now, you're in Giant World. They give you this little cheat sheet. Where the heck is a giant-sized boss bass? That's what I want to know.
Ooh, nice job keeping P speed.
Yeah, I was impressed. And that's the other weird thing about this game. P speed is not consistent in this game. At least in my opinion, it's not consistent.
Actually, there is a strat that you can do, like on that second giant Koopa that you see in the beginning of the level. If you like stomp and shoot a fireball at it, and then grab one of those like flashing blocks, you can actually despawn one of the piranha plants.
Also, sorry, Mitch, I cheated. So I gotta apologize to him. That's like my punishment now for like not doing proper strats through here.
Yeah, 4-3 is actually a really fun level to have P speed for. It can also be dangerous as well.
Especially in the second half, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of pits and then trying to avoid the buzzy beetles as well. There's actually a specific jump that you can do where you can stomp on both of them while maintaining P speed. So.
Alright, let's go for this one. And yes, you can use a hammer there.
Alright, so she's not going to play through the fort, but if you play all forts, which is the hottest category in Mario 3, you play through that fort.
So, remember what I said about staying out of the water? We did stay out of the water for about half this stage, so, yay. That is the Lakitu skip. I actually used the older strat for that.
Oh, I didn't even know about the older strat. I just know about the newer one.
See, I'm teaching you stuff. Again, don't develop my bad habits, though.
Oh no, I mean it's pretty much like if you see that you messed up on something, it could be very good for a backup.
So let's hope we get the right. These are Sludge Brothers, by the way. That's what these are called. Nope, they're in my way, unfortunately. I might be able to... Yeah, I got the extra box. Nope, we did not get the right one. We might have been able to skip one had I gotten the right one next, but what can you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this stage is unique in the case that if you end up in one of these doors, you can actually transform the stage to small, but why would you want to do that? You're in Giant World. I never understood that concept.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of that? Why you want to turn everything small when it's supposed to be a giant world?
Agreed.
A pretty good level there.
Mm-hmm. Not too bad.
And you don't really have to worry about lives either, because every time you get like 3 various cards, like whether it's like a mushroom, a flower, or a star, like you'll get a 1-up, because it's technically, think of it like one of a kind pretty much, like when you're playing cards. Now, if you were to get, like, let's say, 3 of the same kind, like if you get 3 mushrooms, you get 2-ups. If you get 3 fire flowers, you get 3-up. And if you get 3 stars, then you get 5-up. However, in this run, you don't want to get the multiple ups because they do take time. But unless you're in dire straits and you need lives, then yeah, you pretty much want to go for those.
I remember, it was either Mitch or who told me that, like, the 3 mushrooms in a row don't really waste that much time, because it's only 2-ups. But I still would recommend it.
It's actually kind of hard to get, like, 3 mushrooms in a row as well, because, you know, whenever you get, like, full P-speed and you grab a card, most of the time you do get the star. Unless you kind of, like, do a quick turnaround, then you can grab a mushroom or a flower card.
Now, this is my least favorite level in the game in terms of boredom. Oh my goodness, this level.
This is the slowest airship in the game, and it does suck, you know, just waiting and waiting and waiting, but...
It's the slowest auto-scroller of my life, I swear. So, I guess we could take this time to talk about the coin count. I usually do, because I adjust my coin count here.
Yeah, I don't recall which worlds exactly. I think it's,
It's 1, 3, 5, and 6. So you're wondering to yourself, well, wait, don't you want a bonus in this game? I guess if you're playing casually, it's good, but in a speedrun, you can transform Hammer Brothers into coin ships. If your coin count is a multiple of 11, and you are in worlds 1, 3, 5, and 6, you could possibly transform into a coin ship depending on your score. I want to say it's a multiple of something, a multiple of 10 or something like that. But the point is...
And also with that, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say is, not only do you get penalized with a coin ship, you get penalized with an auto-scroller. It's miserable.
Yeah, and it's pretty much the same speed as this, but also another thing is, if it's a power-up that you needed for your item box or your inventory, you will not get that. Because I believe at the end of the coin ship, they give you, what do they give you? I think it's
A P-Wing?
Yeah, I think it's a P-Wing that they give you. So it's not really recommended to turn any of the Hammer Bros into coin ships.
So I use tail strats on 5.1 and 5.2, and I'll explain why I do that as I get there. But again, if you want to go the maximum speed, you're going to want to keep Fire Flower there. But again, if you're just beginning to learn this speedrun again, that's kind of the route I'm taking. It's more of like a beginner route.
And it's still done very fast, so.
Aw, thank you. I try. All right, that's it. The slow level's done, thank goodness.
So we're out of Big World. We're heading into Sky World now.
Yep.
I wonder if they named that after you.
I wonder. I know a couple of my friends who used to have splits. They used to have like some kind of homage to me in this. Multiples of 11. Thank you so much, Alec. I appreciate that. I knew it was multiples of 10 or 11, and I thought it was multiples of 10, but no, multiples of 11 in your coin count. And the bad thing is, it's most likely to happen in Skyworld because you get a lot of coins randomly at the end of levels because Lakitu chases you almost out of every single level. And you get coins from him and the Spiny that he throws down. Alright, so again, one of the reasons why I keep the tail right here and just do a nice little scenic glide to the end of the level because we all know that's fun.
And we see those nasty little buggers that try to jump up and try to bite you.
Yep. I do not like them. I'm gonna call them buggers. I like that. That's a great name for them. Alright, so do not, and I repeat, do not fall in this level. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, if you fall, you're gonna have to play through the entire level. However, there is a shortcut here that you can take.
Yep.
It's actually a lot safer to have the leaf for this one, so you can traverse through it much more safely. But now, if you were to fall, you would have to go through like the bottom section of the level, and it is a lot slower because you have to like drop down all the way until you hit the water and then enter the pipe. It's just a disaster when you miss that jump. So
now I am going to use another strat that I've developed here. We're actually going to use this leaf to deboost through the fortress. Now you're thinking to yourself, Sky, what are you doing? This fortress is difficult. Yeah, but 5.3 is also a very long level, so you're gonna want to take this forward here. Alright, so again, this is the kind of beginner strat that I've developed here. I'm probably going to lose P-speed here. Yep, that's okay. Also, do not get hit by that thwomp there. It will cancel your jump at the end. So I guess since we didn't get the full deboost in here, which I've meant to get hit at the beginning, and I somehow dodged everything, we're going to use that same deboost in the tower instead.
a very nice fort though, regardless.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, especially with keeping the raccoon leaf too. I normally play that with Big Mario, I think. So
I'm getting the wrong Hammer Brother again. No. I'm trying to get
at least you got more stars to work with.
Yeah, normally you just put these two Hammer Brothers to sleep, but I like to have the extra P-Wing. I use the 2 extra P-Wings in the airship during marathon runs, especially during marathon runs of World 7, because it's a long level. I really don't want to deal with Ludwig. Very nasty in general, so we use it there. And then we use it in 8-1 because do I really need an excuse to use a P-Wing in 8-1? Level's nasty.
It really is nasty.
There we go. Got the P-Speed through the first half of the tower.
That's really good.
Thanks. Yeah, that's like my backup strat if I somehow manage to keep my tail throughout the fort. If not, I use a star there. But the problem is, if you jump normally and you're not at P-Speed with the star, you will do this kind of weird curl jump and you won't go up through the pipes. So best to avoid that scenario by deboosting there with a leaf for sure.
I usually dread Skyworld a lot, especially when you're up in the sky.
As badly as I want to do P-Speed in this level, I have fallen in this level way too many times from missing an input, and yes, missing even one input in this level on P-Speed will result in death. It's just too easy, so for the sake of the marathon, and the sake of just getting everything moved along here, we're gonna bypass that for now.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's funny, World 5 has some very difficult levels, and then it has some really easy levels. The next 2 levels really aren't that terrible, surprisingly. The Fortress isn't bad, and then 5-8 is just terrible. I hate 5-8. If you are unfortunate enough to have a Jugum Cloud, don't ask me about 5-9. just don't do that. 5-9 is it is a diagonal auto-scroller. Tell me where else you've seen one of those in a game. Maybe with the exception of Kirby's Adventure to the boss at the end there. Hammer Brothers in a good place. You want to try to not fight it if possible.
Yeah, also another thing you could do is just put the Hammer Bros to sleep and not worry about it at all.
Well, I'm worried about, I had to think about timing there for a second because, I one time mistimed a music box there, and the Hammer Brother ended up being asleep at the beginning of World 6, and that's bad, because that Hammer Brother either has a cloud or a hammer, I can't remember. There's the coin ship that we're not going to visit.
Yeah.
Sorry, that scared the poop out of me until I realized where that Hammer Bro was. So, don't do that. I lost a tournament race that way, because that ship was in my path, and it was terrible. So let's try to outrun that ship to the end of the game, shall we?
Sounds good to me. You don't want to get stuck in that coin ship.
No. We'd like to go fast.
Yeah, I believe it's like, what, roughly 2 to 3 minutes or something?
Yeah. Oh well, I wanted to show that off. Supersonic got his chance to show some stuff off. I'm showing that off. NEA, it's going the other way. Good.
Good. It's not in our way.
Alright,
5-8 is actually a pretty fun level to get P-Speed on.
I
but
tried.
it is kind of
hard.
dangerous too.
Yeah.
Especially with that Lakizu just like tossing his spinies like diagonally and crazy. It's like he's drunk. He had too much to drink and he's just like tossing his children all over the place.
Well, we won't be fire killing Roy, but maybe that's for my own good.
Coin chips are 1 full minute. Okay, thank you for clarifying, Ace.
Thank you, Ace. So the most dangerous part to actually have a Hammer Brother isn't up by where that coin ship is. It's actually in the tile between 5-9 and this airship. Because if you die, at least we will go flying past 5-9 and the airship will go. So that's okay.
So Chad is asking, what is the symbol on the sail on the coin ships?
I believe it means treasure. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it means treasure. And I actually have to pay attention now in this airship, considering I only have 1 power-up now. So mind me if I get a little bit quiet here. I want to make sure I don't goof off too much here. But you can feel free to keep talking, though. It's not too bad.
Yeah, normally with World 5, if you have Mushroom still, you can get the Fire Flower here. It pretty much depends on which airship you're in, like what kind of power-ups you get. From what I know, World 1, you'll get the Fire Flower. World 2, you also get the Fire Flower. World 3, you'll get the Raccoon Leaf. World 4 is also the Raccoon Leaf. World 5 is Fire Flower. World 6, I believe, is Raccoon Leaf. And then in World 7, you can either get... Well, you have 2 opportunities to get Fire Flower in that one.
Alright,
So
gonna
that's
focus
pretty
up
much
here. This is a tough fight.
Sure, go for it.
And he's out! Okay, so don't be on the ground when Roy hits the ground and you're good. That's the whole fight. All
Yeah,
right.
because like while you're standing on the ground and then you basically let Roy slam onto the ground, it's basically going to stun Mario. So that's not a good thing, especially when he's bouncing like twice in a row and he's heading towards your direction. You can like get hit that way.
Alright. Pretty
Hey, we
clean.
saved Gandalf.
It's a clean World 5. Now on to one of my favorite worlds, Ice World. A lot of unique levels in World 6.
Yeah, Ice World can be pretty fun.
I'm actually going to use my spare star right here because I don't trust this Hammer Brother on ice. Have extra stars, we might as well use it. And that was a good choice. There we go.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick kill for those Hammer Bros. You get the free hammer.
And we're going to use that to escape surprise, surprise again. Another auto-scroller, because again, we don't like them. Especially in warpless and all forts. We do not like them. And correct me if I'm wrong, Supersonic, in the all forts category, we actually get to skip some of the worst auto-scrollers in this game, including that World 4 airship.
That is true, because you get to use all 3 whistles in that category. So when you get all 3 whistles, you can actually skip the World 1 airship, World 4, and World 7.
I'm gonna take this for 6-4 just because that level's not fun.
Also, in this particular fort, you could do a damage boost at the start of the level with those row of spikes, so that way you don't have to like ride the platform. But you would need 2 power-ups for that, though.
Right, right.
And also, like if you were to grab the star in this level, you can actually kill Boom Boom in 1 shot with the star. But it is kind of difficult to keep the star throughout the rest of the way because you have to like maintain P speed and then like get into the door.
Yeah, the timing on that one reminds me of, y'all were just watching SMB2 US. There's actually a Birdo kill in Warpless in that game that has a very similar mechanic to it, where you can't really afford to miss a jump, otherwise you won't get the start of the Birdo. Very similar there.
So someone in chat is asking, did Koopas originally run the Mushroom Kingdom?
That's a good question.
I'm not even sure.
I don't know who was there first, honestly.
Get the cloud. Clouds are so nice in this game.
You know what? Go to sleep, Hammer Brother. I'm tired of dealing with you, and you have an item I don't need. So here you'd normally take a P-Wing in. Again, I like to use P-Wings for different levels in my route. So again, if you're taking the speedrun route, please take a P-Wing in much faster. There's also really cool despawn in here. But instead, I do not like those enemies. I don't know what they're called, but the ones that eat up the bricks, I do not like them.
Yeah, they're very annoying.
So here you can actually despawn one of the flowers there.
Yeah, it's like a specific setup that you have to do in order to despawn one of those guys. Basically, while you have the P-Wing and you're running, you have to kill specific enemies, and then you grab a shell and then fly up to that area, and it will despawn one of those guys.
So I'm gonna cheat here. I'm gonna make a pit stop. Don't tell. Don't tell. I did cheat here. We're gonna grab the hammer suit. And actually, it's a really good thing to do if you're getting started with this game. I like the hammer kill. It's fun to show off. I'm gonna try and see if I can get some flies done here. Ooh, I didn't think I made that, but I made it. We did it. The double fly.
Very nice.
Yeah, I don't like that level when you actually take the intended route, so I like cutting out a good portion of it via the tail.
Yeah, because if you lose P speed or if you just like miss a jump or something, then you can just fall into the pit.
Yeah, Redbeard, thank you so much for your sub with Twitch Prime. We appreciate that. Welcome. RGL appreciates that. Alright. So now we get to see some very unique enemies here. We get to see Piranha Plants trying to balance a spike ball. No clue what that's about, but it's a thing in this game.
They're probably bored too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, H jump.
Yep. Yeah, that's the easy H jump. The other one I didn't get in World 3 was little H jump.
Yeah.
Alright, hardest level in the game. You ready?
Super hard.
Yeah, super hard. Well, it is hard actually if you're small, but...
Yeah, because if you were small and getting into this level, you have to do like a wall jump, and it's like there's a pixel that you need to find, and I remember Pooh Bear was telling me about it. Like there's a visual cue for it where if you jump at that specific spot, and then it'll actually give you the pixel, and you have like 1 frame to jump.
So again, this is kind of like the Mario 3 for Dummies idiot route through this level. Again, you can do this actually not too much effort, but again, I don't want to be taking too many hits here because I have a very important clip attempt coming up in 7-1, and I want to make sure I can take 1 hit to Lemmy, because I firmly feel that the clip is easier to do without a tail, but ask Ace Arrows. He has a little bit of a different opinion on this. Ace is actually really good at the 7-1 clip with tail. Kudos. The tail creates a very different run speed. Supersonic. That's why a lot of the runners actually don't use that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like I said, don't Don't develop bad habits with tail like I do.
Alright, so we're heading into the World 6 airship. This one... Yeah, it's very blue.
Yeah, it's blue. I'm not gonna go with the scare tactic here, by the way. There's a very funny trick you can do in this level, but I have no clue where that platform is, so let's not have fun with that. That doesn't seem like a good idea, but Pooh, Mitch and Company will probably do it during Summer Games Done Quick, during their All Forts race, so I'm sure you'll see it there. But there's a hidden platform underneath here where they fall, and then everyone from GDQ will go like, oh, and then they'll see them jump back up. You'll see that platform right there.
I think that was it right there. I just saw it pass by.
Yeah, I don't know where the beginning and end is there, so I would prefer to not do that. But they do it wonderfully.
Yeah, because I think the death plane and the airships are slightly lower compared to like Mario 1 and Lost Levels.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the airship, since, you know, it's moving up and down, so I'm pretty sure that they had to, like, drop the death plane a little lower.
Woo! Alright, that was a little bit of swag that I didn't try to do, but totally did.
Wow, how did you not get hit there?
I don't know, but I'll take it. Hitboxes, that's how.
You were, like, engulfed in the flame, and yet you still have your leaf.
That's a really cool trick. So that's how I take a hit there, so I can attempt 7-1 without a tail. Alright. That's World 6.
So we got 2 more worlds to go.
Yep, in World 7, I call the tech block. There's a lot of really difficult tricks in World 7. We're gonna try to clip, in air quotes, try, but it always doesn't turn out well. So if I feel like enough time has elapsed, again, for the sake of the marathon, we'll just do the stage. But I hope I can get it. We'll see. I practiced it a little bit before, but I gotta have more faith in myself. This is the devil's spell of this game. Although we call it mac and cheese if you get it first try. Nope. Oh, and then I hit up on accident. Oh well. We'll just assume I actually hit a diagonal. That's a bad habit of mine. Sorry folks. You'll have to watch my last RGL run if you want to see it, because I got it like 3rd try there, but not here. Watch me get 0 hands on this run. I will be a sad lady.
That would be pretty funny if you got no hands.
But if there's a mistake to be made, again, when I'm not going for PB, that's not the worst mistake I can make in this run. Certainly taking a death would have been worse than that. So we're just gonna mosey on along here.
Actually, if you think about it this way, if you're playing this level and then you're like struggling to get the clip anyway, so like, it's really not that bad of a time loss.
Little nice trick right here with the Koopa.
Yeah, just stomp on him and hold the jump button to send you up even higher.
Yeah, the trick, it works when it wants to work. It certainly does give an attitude problem, so maybe for the sake of the marathon, that wasn't, like, the worst thing that could have happened there.
Yeah, and there is another opportunity to get the clip like that. I believe it's...
Oh, I'm not clipping there. I'm taking my P-Wing over that.
You're gonna P-Wing that one?
Oh, yeah. There's a reason why I stacked up on P-Wings. So, for example, here, the P-speed trick here is really difficult, so instead, we're gonna take this over the pit. Now, if you're Ace of Arrows, for example, and you choose to clip 7-1 with a tail, that trick's for free even without a P-Wing. It's a very rewarding thing for sure, and something I might look into doing during future RTA hunts. But again, I'm okay with not getting that trick during a marathon run.
Okay, so Ace of Arrows is mentioning that someone did math, and doing the stage normally takes 27 clip skip attempts worth of time. So that's a lot of clip attempts.
Oh, I try. Trust me, I've done more than 27 in one try. Alright, so we're going to want to keep our tail throughout this level. Again, we want to preserve the P-Wings. Normally you would P-Wing the fort here because it's a little quicker, but again, on the route that I take, we're going to take just a regular tail in there.
And as long as you have the star in this level and then you hit those specific blocks, it will pop up a star every time. Now, let's say you do run out of the star, like before you hit those blocks, it'll just be a coin block. That's about it.
All right, so warpless. You see 7-4? You want to know what the best way to clear 7-4 is? This way. Bump that level. Bump that level so much.
That is an auto scroller in the water, nonetheless.
In a field of electrified jellyfish. No, thank you. No, thank you.
And you gotta deal with Big Bertha, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, normally you would use the P-Wing in this level, but using the tail is actually not that bad either.
No, it's not too bad. We're gonna use a P-Wing in the next level for the sure, we'll call it the cheating clip, because that's kind of what it is when you use a P-Wing through it. I believe it is still faster to use the P-Wing in 7.
It is actually, yeah, because you would still have to, you know, attempt the clip in there without the P-Wing.
So there we go, optimal strats. That one's the same across the board. Yeah, Alec, exactly. 7-4 is a level you just don't even want to think about.
Exactly.
Now, if you're taking the fastest route possible, you're going to want to go in 7-8 because there is a hammer suit there, and people like Mitch Flower Power like to carry that hammer suit to the end of the game, which is ridiculous, but possible. But here, we're going to take 7-7, straight line. The end of this stage with tail is actually pretty difficult to get the squeeze between, so hopefully we get that, but as long as you put that input in way ahead of time, you're good to go.
I usually like playing 7-7 in warpless runs, or even all forts runs, because it feels like a straightaway level. Just grabbing the star, it's not that big of a deal.
You can actually clip through there too. Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, there is a pipe clip that you can do. It'll just take you directly to the end of the level, but it is very hard to pull off because it's like a pixel perfect trick.
Here's another one you don't get to see too often in Warpless. This is 7-9, and you can actually clip underneath the level. Instead here, if you have your tail from the last level, you can actually fly over part of the level right there. So that is my fake clip of the level. Also, too, if you ever play Randomizer, getting Boss Bass or one of the little fish to chase you throughout this level is terrible. So, that's the much easier version of that level.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So we're gonna skip all of this, grab a P-Wing, and get the heck out of World 7.
Yeah, that 7-4-2 is actually a pretty difficult level, especially trying to get P-Speed in it, because there's a lot of open area where you can just fall down and hit the lava. There's also a lot of piranha plants, a lot of thwomps. There's some boos in the beginning too, so...
So, I'm just gonna kind of chill with Supersonic here and read chat, because I hate this level.
Yeah, this is actually the longest airship in the game, so... I guess it's a good idea just to kind of fly through it and not worry about anything. There will be 2 power-ups in this level that can give you the Fire Flower, but in this juncture you don't necessarily need to have it if you're going for like regular strats, or like safe strats rather.
Mm-hmm.
So... just cruising, flying, you know.
I'm telling you, this is the way to do this level. If you ever end up with an extra P-Wing and you're in a stressful situation, to be honest, I consider this level to be way more stressful than Air Force. Way more stressful than Air Force. A lot of first-timers will actually take the P-Wing through Bowser's Air Force and World 8, but that level A scrolls quicker, and B, you lose a lot less if you die in there unless you get 0 hands. So I highly recommend, if you're going to invest items, so again, we're investing a Jugum's Cloud in this, we're investing a music box in this, and if you're not feeling too confident about this level, this is the way to take. Also not too shabby for marathon runs as well.
Agreed.
That's the thing though, is if you're... I feel like I'd rather die in the Air Force than die here, because Air Force does scroll quicker.
Yeah, and especially if you die in any of the auto-scrollers airships, the ship will fly away and you have to like chase after it.
Yep, we don't want to be playing 7-4. I also find Ludwig rather delightful with the P-Wing. I'm just saying.
actually a lot easier.
Yeah, isn't it? It's beautiful.
All right, so we got 7 worlds down. We got 1 more to go. And we're pretty much in auto-scroller world now. So if anyone's familiar with the any percent no wrong warp category, you would get the 2 vessels in World 1, then warp to World 8, and you just got to deal with, like, I believe it's 4 auto-scrollers, and it gets pretty boring and monotonous.
So, what have we been trying to avoid this whole time, auto-scrollers? All I can say to World 8 is sigh. Just sigh. This is where, if I'm hosting at any marathon, I'm like, you know, now is a great time for donations, but this isn't that kind of marathon.
This is all just for this is all just for fun.
Yep. It's
so there's
funny.
Actually.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if it wasn't for that clip mishap, I would actually be on PB Pace by quite a bit right now.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I probably would be on PB Pace by about a minute or so without that. That's okay though. So anyways, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that there is actually a lag redux strat you can do, like, towards the end of the level where there's like a bunch of bob-ombs popping out from the cannons. So normally, if you have the leaf, you can just like do a tail whip on the bob-ombs, or you can just like grab one and then just kind of run right into the other that's coming at you, and that can actually reduce lag. Now, if you don't do that, you're gonna notice that there's gonna be a huge lag spike for momentarily. It's not like that long, but it is a pretty big lag spike.
I think it's right here. Yep.
This is the one, yeah, it's right
Yep.
here.
See,
You kind
I
of notice there's a lot of lag there.
I demonstrated that rather nicely. Alright.
Yeah, so you just pretty much just use the bob-ombs and utilize them just to like reduce the lag that way.
I kind of find it funny that Nintendo chose to do this. The enemy of this whole squadron of the army is a boomerang brother. Some rank.
Tossing a sock at you. And what you get for your troubles? A star.
Hey, we
But
use that star. We use that.
yeah, this will be very beneficial later on. So. Okay, now we're in the Navy level. Normally I like to grab the fire flower there, but it is a very precise grab that you got to do. There's 2 ways to grab that fire flower. One way is to do the regular crouch jump into the gap to grab the fire flower. Another way is like a strat that I normally do is just you clip into the corner of the block and then you grab it from underneath.
A fun, casual way to do this level is to actually, you can swim underneath the ship. There is enough of a space between you and the death plane to be able to swim underneath all this, but it's slower because you have to wait till the ship ends, and again, we want to try to not be too casual. But the power-up that Supersonic just described is the most difficult by a mile to grab in the game, and it's funny because most runners actually would like to have it, you know, faster boom boom fights and such.
Yeah.
Is there a special name for that?
Yeah.
Is it like ship flower or something like that?
I don't know if there's like a name for it, but all I know is that you just got to try to do a precise duck jump into the gap and then just grab the fire flower that way. But then right as you grab it, you got to avoid the cannonballs that are coming at you too, because they'll keep shooting. So, and of course, it's more beneficial to kill Boom Boom with the fire flower because it takes 5 shots to kill him.
All right, RGL chat. I know you're all gonna say 3, but how many hands am I getting? I'm gonna
Place
say
your
2.
bets, folks. Place your bets.
2 for me.
I'm going 1.
Well, I hope this is my only one then, because
Oh, that's a bad hand too.
Oh yeah. So I'm glad that this wasn't actually on PB Pace, because that would have been miserable to lose a PB to that.
Yeah, hand 1 is the worst hand to get if you were to get any hands. The shortest one is the hand number 2. And then hand number 3, okay, so it goes into hand number 2, so that's 2 hands so far.
I tell you, my hand luck in this game is the absolute worst.
Yeah, so hand 2 is actually the shortest hand level. Hand number 3, you can actually get a fire flower in that level, so if you do end up getting hand number 3, that's a perfect opportunity to grab fire.
All 3, and that's a 1 out of, what, 16 chance or something like that?
Yeah.
I warned you about that. This dang old marathon luck is a thing.
You did tell me before the run, so.
Oh yeah, I predicted 2 to be nice, but I knew it was gonna be 3.
Oh.
So if we
GTA's
get
got its
sub hour,
rare.
it's gonna be very narrow. I'm gonna say it's gonna be barely over 1 hour now, but that's okay. That kind of thing happens. All right, now it's time for Air Force.
And Air Force is actually not that bad when you have the raccoon leaf, so. You just pretty much float around and not worry about dropping down too fast because you'll be, you know, twirling your tail around, kind of just floating, just chilling, you know, just going from one ship to another, just checking out the scenery from the sky.
I have
It's
died of boredom in this level, by the way.
Yeah, deaths can happen too, so. Okay, so Ace of Arrows said that there's 12.5% chance of getting 0 or all 3 hands.
I knew it was something like that. I thought for some reason it was 16, but dang.
That's still a big percentage.
I know. Why can't I get that in the good direction? That's alright.
This is still a pretty good run.
Yeah, I mean, I just did Air Force without P-Wing in a marathon, like, yay, you know? However, you will not see that on 8-1. I'm sorry. We are going past 8-1 because nobody has time for this horrible of a level. I've also played this level with the Angry Sun following me. Let me tell you something, it is not a nice level.
Oh yeah, I think that one's 8-2.
No,
That has the Angry Sun.
and Randomizer I'm talking about.
Oh, and Rando, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know much about Rando, so.
Oh, you should try it. Rando's fun. Alright. And that's it. Once you see the screen scroll over like that, you know, you can clear that. I know a lot of people who still actually use AP Wing on that level. There's no shame whatsoever in doing that.
It is actually a pretty difficult level to get past without P-Wing, especially, like, I normally use fire strats in 8-1. Duckfist taught me a pretty cool strat where if you kill a specific Koopa, like that's in the very beginning of the level,
We're gonna
you actually
cheat.
build P-Speed pretty quick.
I cheated again. We do a lot of cheating in this run.
Cheating the run!
I did. That's okay, though.
It did take away a big chunk, but it is actually a lot slower because you gotta wait through the...
You have to wade through the sand.
Yeah.
Kind of built an auto scroll into the level. Feels bad, man. Alright.
Wait, are we
Final.
sounding like robots?
Oh, I have no clue where that's coming from. I'm just gonna keep playing. I know it's probably not on my end. I think we're good here.
Is it me?
No, you sound fine. I think it's, I don't think it's my stream either, because I'll stream him without sounding like a robot.
They're saying it's on my end. I don't know what's going on. No. Let me see.
Hey, we got door skip! Yay! Shoutouts to door skip.
I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my sound. Am I still sounding like a robot, guys?
I think you sound okay now. I'm sad. 3 hands robbed me of the sub 1. This game's a turkey sometimes.
It's a turkey. Turkey sounds good.
That's my way of saying the game stinks without being too profane about it. And that's why I grab Hammer Suit. I have a hard time with that plane there. Would have been nice to have that for Boom Boom, but that's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, I have issues with that part of the level. I still don't know where exactly I'm supposed to go there. But again, I have Hammer Suit, so... it's
No,
big
you're
deal.
fine. Yeah, that should be good.
I just don't get the fast Boom Boom kill. I did that the other night and messed up a PB that way, because I actually didn't take the Hammer Suit, and I went for Fire Kill, and that is where I lost my run, so... I have issues with that section.
It's all part of the plan, people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's probably his Discord that may be acting up.
Yeah, Discord can do that. So we're barely gonna miss the sub hour here, but that's okay. We're still gonna finish this at an hour.
Yeah, you'll finish Underestimate, no problem.
And we didn't toot. That's good.
Yeah, if you used the whistle, that would have been bad.
Oh, Darvian used that once in a casual race a long time ago, before not too many people knew who he was. I felt horrible.
The Darvian did
Yeah.
that? I can't believe
He
it.
tooted. He did. But I don't think he's done it since. I certainly remember to not do it since.
This part can be kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
And now for the easiest kill in the game.
Woohoo! Yeah, just
And
over an
he's
hour.
done.
It's a good time for a marathon run still.
It's gonna be like a...
I'll be under 1 hour 30. It was the hands. This would have been close to a 58 without 3 hands.
Yep, definitely putting the hands on that one.
Still, great, good run still. No complaints,
Very good
really.
run. Sub 1 hour and
30 seconds.
seconds. I'm all looking at the time. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to stay here.
That was fun, though. Thank you all for sharing that with me. Appreciate that. So again,
Very nice run.
anybody can do this route. Please, if you're even remotely thinking about doing this, pick this up, use it maybe for your first couple runs, and then don't pick up my bad habits. But great game nonetheless. I would recommend it for a speedrun. But yeah, about 5 minutes underestimate. Can't complain.
Very nice run.
So yeah, that's SMB3. Actually, if it wasn't for the 3 hands and the clip mishap, that was a PB.
So close.
We'll get it soon. We'll get it soon.
All right.